The last time anyone saw Patricia Holloway, she was standing at her kitchen window at 11 p.m., staring directly at me. She didn't wave, she didn't smile. She just stared, eyes fixed, expression unreadable, the kind of look that doesn't leave you when you close your eyes. I remember thinking it was strange. I remember telling myself it was nothing. I was wrong. Patricia had lived next door to me for 11 years. She moved in the autumn after her husband Gerald passed, quietly, efficiently, the way people move when they're trying to outrun grief. She was a retired school librarian, soft-spoken, methodical, the kind of woman who kept the same routines for decades because routine was the only thing that made sense to her anymore. Every morning at 7, she fed her cat, a gray tabby she called Mr. Pemberton. Every Tuesday, she drove to the supermarket and bought the same things: semi-skimmed milk, digestive biscuits, a small bunch of whatever flowers were on offer. Every Thursday, she had a standing appointment with her GP for a heart condition she never talked about, but managed carefully. She was not a woman who did anything without reason. She was not a woman who disappeared. And yet, I noticed it on a Wednesday. The milk was still on her doorstep from the day before, bottles sweating in the morning heat. Mr. Pemberton was sitting on the front windowsill crying in that specific way cats do when something is wrong. I told myself she'd probably gone to visit her daughter in Leeds. I told myself she'd just forgotten the milk. I went to work. I came home. The milk was still there. I called the police that evening. They were polite but disinterested. Patricia was an adult. There was no immediate evidence of danger. They'd send someone to do a welfare check in the morning. The officer who came the next day spent 11 minutes at her house, knocked twice, looked through the letterbox, radioed it in as no cause for concern. The back door was locked. The windows were intact. Nothing appeared disturbed. Patricia Holloway had simply chosen to leave. Except she hadn't taken Mr. Pemberton. She hadn't canceled her Thursday appointment. And on her kitchen counter, visible through the window if you stood at the right angle, was a birthday card addressed to her granddaughter Lily. Stamped, sealed, never posted. Patricia Holloway worshipped that little girl. She showed me photographs every time I saw her. Lily's first steps, Lily's first day of school, Lily turning 6 with chocolate cake on her face. That card not being posted told me everything the police refused to hear. I started paying attention in a way I hadn't before. Started thinking back over the previous weeks, looking for things I'd dismissed. And I found them. 3 weeks before Patricia vanished, a man had started parking outside her house in the evenings. Dark blue estate car, never the same time twice, always gone by midnight. I had noticed it, but thought nothing of it. People park on streets. Then I remembered Patricia mentioning her nephew had been coming round. Daniel. She'd said his name with something I couldn't quite identify at the time. Not warmth, not irritation. Something quieter than both. Something that sounded a lot like fear. I found Daniel through Patricia's daughter, who by this point was terrified and furious and demanding answers the police still weren't interested in providing. She told me Daniel had shown up 8 weeks ago after years of no contact, said he needed somewhere to stay. Patricia, being Patricia, had said yes. What Patricia's daughter didn't know, what none of us knew yet, was that Daniel had been released from prison 4 months earlier. Fraud. He'd spent 3 years inside for systematically emptying the accounts of elderly people who trusted him. And now he was living with a 67-year-old widow who had a house she owned outright and savings she'd spent 40 years building. The police moved faster after that. They found Patricia 6 days later. She was alive. which is the most important thing, and I want you to hold on to that. She was alive, staying in a budget hotel 2 counties away, frightened and confused, and without her phone, which Daniel had taken. He'd told her there were people looking for her, that she wasn't safe at home. He'd spent 2 weeks slowly convincing a woman with a heart condition and no one checking on her daily that the world outside her door was dangerous, so that the only person she could rely on was him. He'd already transferred £23,000 from her savings account. He'd already contacted a solicitor about power of attorney. If she had stayed missing another week, he would have had legal control over everything she owned. Daniel was arrested on a Thursday morning, the same Thursday Patricia should have been at her GP. He didn't say a word when they put the handcuffs on, just looked at the floor like a man who'd done this before. Because he had, and because somewhere in him he'd always known it would end like this again. Patricia came home on a Friday. I watched her walk back through her front door for the first time in nearly 2 weeks. Mr. Pemberton was at the window before she even reached the step. She rang her granddaughter that afternoon and wished her a happy birthday. Late, but it got there. She told me a few weeks later that the thing she couldn't shake wasn't what Daniel had done. It was how long it had taken anyone to notice, how easy it had been for someone to isolate her, one small step at a time, until she couldn't tell the difference between protection and a trap. That's the part that stays with me too. The most dangerous lies aren't the dramatic ones. They're the quiet ones, the ones that sound like someone looking out for you.
Every week I bring you a new story. Dark, real, and unforgettable. If you want to be there when the next one drops, you know what to do, like subscribe and hit the bell. A new story drops every week on MMT Stories. I'll see you in the next one.